Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
All right, we're on the air. It is the AEW Double or Nothing pre-show. Sean Stanley here, Squared Circle Digest. And I was going to start out with the card, but already in the comments, will MJF show the $1 million question? And right now that question, and again, this could be part of the storyline. They could have him hidden, but as of right now, everybody that I have been looking at and the ones that I hold as far as knowledgeable and pretty well known in the, wrestling world is that MJF had still not been to the building as of 5:30 our time, 5:30 Eastern, which would be 2:30 their time. Doors just opened for the AEW Double or Nothing, but he did not get on the flight that was booked for him. So apparently he's still in Las Vegas. Is this all part of the big buildup for the MJF Wardlow, or is there more to this? And obviously, he didn't show up to the meet and greet yesterday, but he was not the only AEW / Ring of Honor talent that did not show up. Samoa Joe also was not at his meet and greet. So, again, the MJF one gets flagged because of everything going on right now, but there's definitely a little bit of a rift right now between Tony Khan and MJF. A lot of the talents are being told not to talk about it publicly. And, again, he said, Fightful, who is one of the ones that I follow a lot, said that MJF told several people that he knew that something would likely have to break the weekend in Las Vegas, considering the two would be around one another for nearly a week straight. We have not been told if that meeting ended up happening, but MJF had expected it to as of weeks ago. One talent was convinced it was a masterminded effort from MJF at some point after the issues became public. So maybe he didn't get that meeting. Cat for Life, what's up, buddy? And it is all about Shanky. That man can dance. That man got the moves. But tonight it is all about AEW Double or Nothing. It's been a good racing day so far. Monaco Grand Prix, the Indy 500, now the Coca-Cola 600 on. We got Game 7 of the Miami Heat and Boston Celtics. An interesting note about AEW Double or Nothing. Tony Khan has stated the main event will not go on until the game is over. They even added some matches to the card to give it some more time there. So it will be an interesting night. And then if MJF does not show up and make his way to the arena, man, oh man, is it going to be a good night. Well, for us, not for Tony Khan or AEW, but again, and also not for Wardlow. That's the one thing, and let's go ahead and let's just jump into the Wardlow MJF match. That is the one right here. And I don't know if it's RK Bro RIP Cat for Life. We'll jump into that in a little bit. But the one person that I feel bad for on this whole front is Wardlow. Again, this is going to be a career-defining match for him because the way it's been set up, remember, he came into AEW as the hired gun, I guess, for MJF He wasn't under contract to AEW. He's under contract to MJF. Now they've been working all this time to where he breaks free from MJF. This was his big, payoff for everything that's been happening, his chance to beat MJF, get his quote unquote freedom from MJF. And now the night is just, the whole weekend has been overlooked by the fact that MJF didn't show up to the meet and greet. And now, I'm trying to keep up with it as we're here on the air. So far, he has not, at least that I know of, been seen at the T-Mobile Arena. Does that mean anything? No, they could just have him hidden out. But as of right now, and then also his contract, some details come out about his contract. January 1st, 2024 would be his date for the contract ending up. My overall, could this be part of the angle? The only reason I say no is because it does nothing for Wardlow. If it was, somehow he was being worked into this, then I could see it being, the whole angle of everything to work into one, and everybody needs to get a win-win if it's an angle. I don't see the win in this one for AEW also, or for Wardlow. So we'll have to see. But in this match, if it does happen, I'll precurse by saying that Wardlow gets the win, of course, because again, this is to him to basically win an AEW contract and to be able to wrestle without being under MJF. Jason Dow said wrestling is turning in the NFL. Guys want raises when they get more popular, even though they signed a contract. And again, this goes back to a lot of these guys were signed under the tier program. AEW wanted to do a tier format. Depending on your experience and everything like that, they had levels of tiers of what you're going to get paid. Some of them have outperformed that. MJF being one of them, Wardlow being one of them. But ultimately, again, if your contract is till January 1st, 2024, to me, creatively, they're not asking you to do, and again, it goes back with the whole, you look at Sasha and Naomi, they walked out over creative differences. But to me and everything that I know, and again, we don't know all the facts. The only thing we know of right now is there's a contract dispute and MJF is playing hardball with it. Like, I'm not gonna be at the arena if that's what's going on. So two different situations, but at the same time, it does go back to where they are under contract. They're contracted performers. So he wants more money, I heard, but doesn't want to add years. Still wants that out for, yeah, because ultimately he's going to get more money in 24. But again, this is where AEW, and if the reports and the people that I've heard it from are true, they have already done this. They've given MJF more money already. So once you do it once, they should have played the hardball before and been like, look, when your contract's up in 2024, or you sign a contract now, adding a year or two to it, and then do it. They didn't do that. They added money to it. So again, like I said, this is all, MJF is MJF. So it could all be work to get back in. But at the same time, if you do it once, this is why you don't do it once. You either say, hey, when he came the first time and he's outperforming what you're paying him, look, we'll give you this amount of money, but we're going to add so many years. It's got to be a win-win for both. If you just give him more money, of course, this is what's going to happen. And we'll see what happens. It might all be a work, but again, it might not be. What does MJF have to lose? Let's be honest here. What does he have to lose? What? He's still under contract till 2024. He sits at home. Less wear and tear on his body. The buy-in match is either on, I think, Bleacher Report or even on TNT, I believe, as well. Howard Ostrom. Let me double check that. I believe they're actually putting it on TNT. And I am wrong there. It is not on TNT. I apologize. It might be on the Bleacher Report app. Check the Bleacher Report app for the buy-in in the U.S. If you're outside the U.S., Fight TV or some of the other ones may be playing it. Again, MJF has nothing to lose here. If he sits home, he's got less wear and tear on his body, and WWE knows what he can do. So, and at 2024, when his contract comes up, he just goes there. He has less wear and tear on his body. He's young still. He's got nothing to lose here. He has everything in his court. And again, all the work. He could just walk out and be like, ha ha, whatever. So it's going to be interesting to see how this affects this card coming up. Now I got to get through this because again, the kickoff show does start at 7. And let's see, not the opening match, but the heavyweight title match, Hangman Adam Page, CM Punk. Again, this match supposedly not starting till after Game 7 is off the air. So you're looking at about 11:15, 11:30. The pay-per-view time is 8 to 12. But they did get the okay to go over the 12 o'clock time slot if need be. Interesting comments by Hangman Adam Page. Said he was going to save the AEW from CM Punk. And again, a lot of this took, onus. Some people were saying, oh, CM Punk's not liked backstage. If you watched and then heard Darby Allin talk about it today, he says CM Punk is likable and very likable backstage. So my only question in this whole thing is I thought CM Punk, they're kind of making the heel turn. And you saw him kind of playing the mind games on AEW Dynamite. And then Paige punches him. What about if Paige turns heel here? What if the Undisputed Elite helps him beat CM Punk, keeps the title on him? And then ultimately, when Kenny Omega comes back, they are ultimately probably turn on Hangman. And now you got Hangman and Omega. Or, again, Hangman and Adam Cole quickly could be done from there. But to be honest, I don't think that's happening. I think they're going to put the belt on CM Punk. I don't know that I think it's the way to go necessarily, because again, if you want Hangman to get built up, I think you need to have him have some big wins. And as the champion, I don't think he's gotten those big wins. And unfortunately, I don't think he's going to get the big win tonight, and it will be CM Punk leaving as the AEW heavyweight champion. We already talked about MJF and Wardlow. Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb. I mean, this match really, and then Howard Ostrom said, Paige needs to lose to help AEW. He's a boring champ. I think it's the way he's booked. Honestly, I don't think it's him as a boring champ. I just think they didn't book him against any big names because right now there wasn't a lot. Now you can throw him with Danielson, and that one with Danielson, I think they should have strung out longer than what they did, but it was what it was. AKW Beach says CM Punk heel turn. Definitely. I hope Summer of Punk part 3. We shall see. I don't know that's a great thing for AEW, but we'll see. And I think, when I say that, in the long run, I think now, you'll get some more eyes on Punk as champion, but I don't think it's a good turn for AEW in the long run. Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb, as I was talking about, to me, if you want the AEW Women's Championship to mean anything, you have to have Thunder Rosa win this match. And Howard, you're right. I think Okada may show up, the real best in the world. Okay, yes. And again, Okada, a lot of that could be setting up for AEW, NJPW, Forbidden Door. So ultimately Punk wins it. Like you said, Okada shows up, and then that would be awesome. That would be awesome. But again, they're playing to the hardcore AEW fans. They're not, and that's not a bad thing. That's their fan base. That's what they want to do. So, but not a lot of your basic wrestling fans are going to get a lot of that, because I think a lot of that's going to happen here tonight to start building up. If not tonight on Dynamite, you're going to start seeing a lot of the Forbidden Door matches starting to progress. But you're right. Maybe Punk wins and it does advance to that. To me, as I was saying, if Thunder Rosa must win this match to make the AEW Women's Champion mean something. She beat Britt Baker, who to this date is probably the best AEW women's champion. And again, only 3 years, I get it. But to take the belt off of her and then to drop it a pay-per-view after would just mean nothing to this title. So to me, it's got to be Thunder Rosa winning this match over Serena Deeb. Jade Cargill, Anna Jay. Again, not a lot of build up to this match. A couple run-ins with chairs and pipes and things like that to fend off attacks from Jade Cargill and the baddies. Jade Cargill wins this. This is kind of her coming out party on pay-per-views. I think Anna Jay is a great opponent for her and will make her look good and will be a very good opponent to make Jade Cargill look like a dominant AEW TBS champion. Jade Cargill wins this match. The Owen Hart men's and women's tournament. And again, these matches not in order. I just kind of put them up as kind of the matches as I'm looking forward to. You got the title matches and things like that, okay? So don't take any of this as the order of what you're going to see. Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho. Ruby beating Chris Statlander, AEW fans didn't like. And honestly, I think the Chris Statlander Britt Baker matchup would be tougher to decide, because I think with this match, the way they've done it, they've showed their hand. If you want to go with the double or nothing, Britt Baker wins this match. I don't think you can have Ruby Soho win this match. Britt Baker is the face of your women's division. Thunder Rosa is your champion, but Britt Baker has been the face of the women's division. She needs to win the Owen Hart Foundation women's tournament. And on the flip side, we'll make it a family affair or boyfriend-girlfriend affair, however you want it to be. Adam Cole will win the Owen Hart Foundation men's tournament, because I don't see them, and I get it. Samoa Joe is signed AEW Ring of Honor, but he is your Ring of Honor TV champion. Does he beat Adam Cole on the AEW roster and up to the last couple pay-per-views was battling for the AEW heavyweight title? I don't think so. Could you throw in some interference in this match and cost Joe? 100%. And Howard, you're probably right. It probably will be, Jay Lethal or Sanjay Dutt or any of the Undisputed Elite or anything like that. We'll see. But ultimately, I think it's going to be Adam Cole. Young Bucks against the Hardys. Again, this match, They've done a lot. I like the build they did on Friday Rampage with the Young Bucks coming out as the Hardys, and then having Gangrel come out, and then they attacked Gangrel, and of course the Hardys came out and made the save. And you know what the funny part about this match to me is? To me, I feel the Young Bucks have to win this match to stay relevant in the AEW tag team division. I don't think the Hardys need to win it. The Hardys, and again, I know everybody's like, oh, the Young Bucks have a name too. The Hardys have a name in tag team wrestling. That's fine. But the Young Bucks have taken such a backseat role, whether planned or not, that now they're not even being figured into a lot of the tag team stuff. And maybe that's a calculated move by AEW because they're the EVPs. But they've kind of just became that comedy tag team, right? To me, they need this match to start making a bump up and to start going for the AEW tag team titles. To me, the Young Bucks must win this match. I have the Young Bucks win this match. The triple threat tag team match, just kind of toss up. You got Keith Lee and Swerve taking on Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks taking on Jurassic Express. My toss-up is between Jurassic Express and Swerve and Lee. I don't think the tag team titles are going to Hobbs and Ricky Starks because ultimately I think those are two great solo performers. I think Keith Lee and Swerve are also great solo performers, but the way AEW has them portrayed right now, they're going to keep them as a tag team. So my thinking on this is, and I've got both circled on my list, Jurassic Express and Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, is, and my worry is this: if you put Jurassic Express and they lose the titles, what was their big win as a tag team champions? They haven't got that yet. I'm not saying that any of these two teams would be a big win either, but you keep the title in a situation where you should probably drop the belts because, again, in a triple threat match, anything can happen. Champions don't have to be pinned. So the one thing that I think is I think, man, I'm so torn because I want to say Jurassic Express to me needs the win to cement them as a legit tag team champions. But when I sit here and I look at this and I think of, thinking of wrestling and how everything portrays, Keith Lee and Swerve are that team that if you put the titles on them, you can build on them as well. And they haven't built on Jurassic Express. They've had the titles for a while now and done nothing. You put the titles on Keith Lee and Swerve, now you're getting some more different matchups possibly. So for that case, and because Howard, which I see now in the thing, is saying Keith Lee and Swerve, I feel a lot better. I'm going to go with Keith Lee and Swerve. Jericho Appreciation Society taking on Moxley, Danielson, Santana, Ortiz, and Kingston. This is the funniest match, or well, not the funniest match, but this match I think is going to be your match. And it's going to be interesting to see because I'm going to say this right now, this match will probably start the show. But I think this match is going to go on when they go to start the fourth quarter of the NBA Game 7. Because again, it's a 12-minute clock, but it can go for about 30 minutes. This match here with the 10-man and anything goes and they can fight all through the arena, you can drag this match out for as long as you want and still have the violence to where people will be into it. So this match here will allow you, to add the time onto the card to where you can go through the whole fourth quarter. And as the time's winding down and you're hoping, one team's up a lot and the clock just rolls instead of it stopping every 5 seconds for a timeout or anything. I think this match is probably going to go on right when about the NBA fourth quarter, maybe a couple minutes into the fourth quarter. I think you're going to see this match. And honestly, I think what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of violence, a lot of people getting beat up. Moxley, Danielson, Santana, Ortiz, and Kingston will win this. But also with that, my caveat is Chris Jericho, Hager, and Daniel Garcia will not get the pin. It's going to be one of the other two. I forget the names. They changed them here recently when they became part of the Jericho Society. It was 2.0 before. One of those two will get pinned to allow Jericho to keep the whole thing going with them and in this match. But it's the thing I want to look at is to see when they put this match on the card, because this is the match to me that you have the most play with to string out, or if you got to cut some time, hey, the fourth quarter's flying by because one team jumped out to a crazy lead. Now we can cut and it doesn't take away from the match. So, but ultimately, I think it's going to be Moxley, Danielson, Santana, Ortiz, and Kingston, of course, getting the win in the Anarchy in the Arena match. Trios match. Death Triangle versus House of Black. Another toss-up. But to me, I think I think, and again, one thing that AEW does a lot of is they always throw surprises in, right? There's always surprises. Do we see a new member of the House of Black tonight? Do we see something like that happen? Because I think House of Black needs this win to build up the faction. They need this win to make the faction mean something. And I don't think that Triangle needs to get beat clean. So what I can see here happening is possibly a surprise, a new member of the House of Black, or possibly you start seeing maybe somebody feud with Pac or, any of the others there. So we'll have to see what happens there. But I think ultimately, House of Black needs this win. I think they pick it up. Is it a new member of House of Black or some other type of interference? I think there's going to be some type of chicanery, shall I say, in this one. Darby Allin, Kyle O'Reilly. Darby Allin said he wants to fight. Kyle O'Reilly says, no problem. We'll fight. Problem is, I don't think the fight's going to be fair. I think Darby Allin, you're going to see all your Darby Allin stuff. Kyle O'Reilly's got Bobby Fish. And ultimately, I think it's going to be Bobby Fish being the ultimate purveyor for Kyle O'Reilly. I think you'll see that, and Kyle O'Reilly will win the match. Hard-fought match, by the way. Might even open the main card. Another match that was added, Paige Van Zant, Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page taking on Tay Conti, Sammy Guevara, and Frankie Kazarian. This one, if you watched AEW Rampage on Friday, the interesting thing was Sammy Guevara took the BMF title. I think we see Jorge Masvidal. I think Jorge Masvidal gets involved in this match. I don't know if it's going to cause a disqualification. I don't know if he's going to cost Sammy Guevara the match. But the other stipulation by Scorpio Sky was that if Sammy Guevara and Frankie Kazarian lost, they couldn't get another shot at the TNT title, a la Cody Rhodes. So ultimately, I think Jorge Masvidal is probably going to get involved in this because they made sure to have the BMF title on Sammy Guevara. So an interesting thing, possibly, again, Take it as I know I'm not sitting here reporting that Jorge Masvidal is going to be there, but I just saw it very interesting to me that they had the BMF. And I only say disqualification because the other stipulation in the match is that if Sammy Guevara and Frankie Kazarian's team loses, they can never challenge for the TNT title. And right now they're the top two challengers for said title. So it doesn't make sense that you're going to eliminate both of them in one match. But again, I'm not Tony Khan, so therefore I don't know. And then, of course, everybody's favorite match, the buy-in. It's Hookhausen against Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling. AEW loves to build, and they built this Hook and Danhausen thing up. Backstage vignettes, in-ring interviews, everything with them, right? And then I thought they did a great job with Smart Mark Sterling training with Tony Nese, getting ready for this big war with Hookhausen. I almost messed up. But I'm here to tell you, Smart Mark Sterling, Tony Nese be damned. Hookhausen in the buy-in is going to walk in and walk out of Vegas victorious. There's no way Hookhausen loses. If Hookhausen loses, I riot. I'm not going to say everybody riots. If you want to riot, we can riot together. That's fine. But damn it, Hookhausen better win. And I've overgone my 30 minutes that I wanted to go. But if you got a couple questions, I'll be on for about 5 more minutes here. Let me check real quick and see if any news came in before I go off on anything that has shown up or anybody that is in the arena now, possibly. Let's see here. I know this is fantastic radio or TV or viewing. If Hookhausen loses, I don't buy the pay-per-view. Howard, you are a god. You are a god, my friend. Let's see. It says right now, wow. Okay, so Dave Meltzer is reporting Wardlow versus MJF is scheduled for 8 p.m. So that means it will start off the pay-per-view. That's from Dave Meltzer. Trying to see here now anything else. So it looks like right now, Dave Meltzer 6 minutes ago says, we're in the building. No announcement regarding MJF at this late hour. If he's not appearing, something should have been said. Then he sent out saying that the MJF Wardlow is scheduled to start at 8 p.m., which means it would start the show. Justin Barrasso is saying, per sources close to AEW, the opening match of tonight's Double or Nothing pay-per-view scheduled to be MJF versus Wardlow. The Young Bucks versus Hardys is second. Then Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay. Anarchy in the Arena is 2 before the main event, which is Hangman Punk. So they might have the Anarchy in the Arena going. It ends a little bit, maybe halfway through the fourth quarter, maybe a little bit more. And then they'll play it that way. So again, but right now, if everybody that is there and they are reporting, it's saying MJF Wardlow will start the pay-per-view. That will be very interesting. And Hookhausen is in the buy-in, and the buy-in is starting 4 minutes ago. So I want to thank everybody that's tuned in with me here today. And don't forget, tomorrow night we'll be here at 10:05. We'll recap Monday Night Raw, and we'll look at what happened on this pay-per-view as well. Until then, wrestling fans, in the words of the great Gordon Soley, oh, these are not in the words of the great Gordon Soley, enjoy the AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view. And now, in the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the sun, shine, state.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at